What is going on, everybody? Dad Season here. Welcome back to the channel. I feel like we're getting these videos are normal now. Yeah, again, I'm coming home from work. I've been so busy and we've got news, so it's time for me to put it out. So, first things first, if you could, please click that like button and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Really helps out my family and I. It helps us get this information to the most people possible to then help all of you all out, because we're all on the same team here. But after you guys did all that, thank you for that. And let's get into the news. So, if you haven't seen, if you are an enthusiast like myself, that are die hard and you just don't miss a thing about things like this first VIN number 1 C8 Z06 has officially sold at auction. Now, I've been getting flooded with DMs. I'm trying to answer people back because of the craziness that happened with it. Now, if this is if you're new into the Corvette world, or you weren't really paying attention when the C8 came out, or you're not sure how these auctions normally go, this could seem like a really weird thing, right? So the VIN number 1 did sell, and it sold for $3.6 million. $3.6 million, which is a ton of money. But let me kind of give a little backstory on it. So technically, GM didn't get the $3.6 million for this car. At this auction, the proceeds go to a charity. So it's kind of like a bunch of rich people, and it's kind of like they got so much money that this is their gambling, and they just want a car in their collection. They don't really care about the money, and they're like, I want that car. So they just battle each other and outbid each other to a ridiculous amount of money, and then they have the VIN number 1 car. It's probably never going to be driven. I mean, it's probably going to sit in a showroom or storage facility. I call it a storage facility because it's not going to be like a 2-car garage. It's going to sit in a collection of crazy cars until, the day it dies, which who knows when that's going to be. So, yes, it did sell for $3.6 million. People are freaking out saying, oh my gosh, this car is going to be worth a ton of money, and it's not. They're not going to sell for $3.6 million, okay? That. First off, that's a wild thing. Don't get stuck on that. I had a lot of people ask me that, so if you're here, you're an idiot. Why would you even have to say that? I got a lot of questions, okay? So I'm just airing it all out. So, no, they're not all going to sell for $3.6 million. However, there were some 2021 and 2022 C8 Stingrays that were at that auction that were also selling for over $100,000. There was a 1LT specifically that sold for over $100,000. So that's over $30K over MSRP. Now, why is that important? Because you can get these cars now, if you're willing to pay that much over, you can get them same day. There's a lot of dealerships that are still doing the whole price gouging, and they're robbing people of their money and all that stuff, but they're still doing that. And you can go get one for 30 grand over, some even 20 grand, 15 grand, depending on what kind of deal you work out. So, I mean, normally the prices are coming down, but then you see stuff like this, and now the C8 price is trending back up a little bit. But there's also been a lot of other news that's came out with the Z06 that is kind of increasing the price of the Stingray again. Some of that news has been, we all hope that they could make a ton of Z06s, right? Everybody wants one. You hope that they can make a bunch, but they can't. And people are starting to realize that there is so much demand for this car. The chances of them getting a first-year Z06 is very, very small. And I mean, myself, I don't even know if I'm going to get a first-year one. So now people are saying, oh, I want to hold on to my C8, or if they don't have one, let me get a Stingray to hold me off to the Z06. So it was seeing a bunch of the Stingray owners dumping the cars because they thought they could get the Z06, but now you see them either not selling them anymore, or they're going, oh snap, and then someone else saying, I'm picking this up while I'm waiting for the Z06 because it could be 2, 4, 6 years. I mean, no one knows, right? No one knows how long it's going to take depending on where they are in the lineup. So it's interesting right there. But then what that means to me is the Z06 market value or resale value is going to go through the roof. Which it sucks. I mean, it sucks for people that are trying to buy one. If you are one of these people out here that are buying it to resell it, I personally don't agree with you, but life happens, so it is what it is. You're probably, if you can get it at MSRP, you're going to make a ridiculous amount of money off this car. Ridiculous. And really not have to do anything. So keep that in mind. I don't recommend reselling it. I don't think it's right. I mean, I get it. You're making money, and maybe you handle that's your business. You buy and resell cars, whatever. But I think this car is now going to resell for a boatload of money. Not like $1 million or anything like that. But I think it's going to sell for well over 50 grand over sticker at this point. That also gets back to the point of where is GM going to draw this line? And we did see that they released a bunch of stuff about how, or a statement saying like they don't want people charging over MSRP. It was kind of like they reminded people like, hey, at the end of the day, you work for us. Like, yes, you're a franchise, you are your own dealership, and you have certain rights, but at the end of the day, our name, our brand is on that building kind of deal, on that website. And it kind of gets into like the whole, people are taking it the way of like false advertising, which I did a lot of more digging in that. If you look right now for a C8 Stingray, right? You go Chevy.com, you build one, you're like, oh, locate one near me or whatever. And you find it on that website, it will say the MSR, it will probably say it's selling for the MSRP of that car. When you get to the dealership, however, you can go to dealership website, and if they don't have it listed for that on the website, when you go in, there's a lot of dealerships people are showing up to, and now all of a sudden on the floor it says 30K over, or however much over. That's going to get into a weird place, and some people are lawyers that might be watching this, and you can figure this out more than me. I'm not. I am no way, shape, or form a lawyer. But people on the internet now are claiming that that is false advertising, and I don't know how all that works. I don't know what has to be done to get that passed or win or however you want to call it, but it's just out there, and it's raising a lot of red flags. Now, I think that the Z06, when it does hit the streets, I mean, don't get me wrong, there is so much hype behind this car. I think it is probably the most anticipated car in the world right now. And I'd probably say the most anticipated car in the last 20-30 years. Of people they want to see it, they want to test it, they want to see how it performs, they want all of it. They want to hear it, they want to hear the new engine, they want to see if it lasts. And that is the question right now. And that's going through a lot of people's mind, and that's also why the Stingray prices are staying up, is because that there's always that chance of, this is a brand new thing from Chevy, right? What if something goes wrong? And obviously, perfect world, we all want to live in it and say, oh no, it's a brand new car, nothing's ever going to break. Stuff happens, it does. And now a lot of people are getting in their heads like, what if this car doesn't live up to the hype? What if now this engine has catastrophic failures all the time, or just because it's a new motor for Chevy? I personally don't think it will. But when you go from building something, very like limited line, you have a lot more focus on it, right? So like when they built this motor, technically this motor is in their race car, the C8R. So yes, they have tested this motor, but when you are building it in a limited production like that, there's more focus on it and more, I guess, time spent. Whereas when you start mass producing stuff can go wrong. something might not get checked right. And I'm not saying that GM does a bad job of producing cars. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying the probability of something happen drastically increases, right? Compared to 2 motors versus 10,000. The percent of it, something going wrong, shoots through the moon, comparatively. So it's kind of keeping people on this whole Stingray, where they're like, you know, this car is great right now, maybe I wait. I don't know. It's weird. We're in a weird like limbo mode right now, and hopefully we're gonna find out soon that like when the actual Z06 officially will be starting production. We've heard rumors. We know when the 2023 production is going to start, but you don't know when the Z06 production is going to start. And I am beyond excited to see my first one in person. I know the dealership that I'm going through is not going to get it until June. So that kind of threw me off a little bit, because I don't know if that means they're going to produce the cars before June or they're going to wait till after June. But either way, I will probably be able to see one as soon as one gets delivered, and that's what I'm banking on. Side note before I end this video, if you guys have not checked out the TikTok account, go check it out. It's doing really well, and I get to have a lot of fun on there. This is more like informative stuff, and like that, I tell a lot of jokes and like do stupid stuff on the TikTok. I still do a lot of car stuff, but it's more non-formal, I should say. It's just more me being an idiot. So go check it out. It's Dadbod Season 610. But if you did enjoy today's video, make sure you smash that like button. Definitely subscribe. Tell anyone and everyone you know to hop on the Dadbod Season train. Join the Dadbod Season family, and I'll see you all next time. Dadbod Season out.